Do you like just looking at silver and talking about it? You ever wish we could just spend some time with your grandpa, maybe? Just looking through his collection and hearing stories about all the coins? Well, I'm not a grandpa yet. I'm certainly not yours, but get comfortable and maybe pour a cup of coffee or a bourbon and whatever your grandpa would like. Let's go through this collection together. I've been collecting silver since I think it's 2008. Quick backstory: I used to work at a bank and I had a customer come in buying a monster box of silver, and just told me about the whole thing. He was buying it for his grandkids, and that's what got me interested in it. I got this more or less off of Craigslist. Somebody was selling effectively the entire American Silver Eagles set. I think it was missing one or two coins maybe at the time. This is probably in 2012 or 13, so I've had to kind of keep up with it since then. I haven't done perfect, but I've been going at it. So let's see. So here we've got Getting Too Old. What is that, 1999 it looks like? Let's see, where did I begin? There's the 1986. I believe that's the most rare one. That's the first year they made them. I've got them going in order. Kind of hard to get out. 1987. It goes all the way up. I'm missing a couple. I think I'm missing the 18 and the 20, it looks like. And then I'm not even actually sure where I stopped. But anyways, this little box is awesome. So it'll go up until, I mean, I've got another, whatever that is, 20 years in this box. I'll put a link to it in the description. All right, let's move on from there. I haven't looked at this, honestly, in a year or so, probably, maybe more. Let's see what we got. All right, just some old, what would be considered junk silver. Here's some sort of a commemorative coin, probably half an ounce. A lot of this stuff I'll just, I got, off of Craigslist or Marketplace, because you can just get a lot better deals that way. Some of it I got, this is really, really old. I can't, my eyes are so bad. Can't even tell what year this is. 1890. A lot of the stuff I got from my grandmother. As she got older, she decided she was never really going to do anything with it. She knew I was interested in silver. She gave it to me. So a lot of these old coins are from her. There's a Ike. I've actually got a whole book of Ikes. I keep it in this thing, this plastic thing. It goes, this isn't safe at home. And that way it keeps it nice and dry, because otherwise it'll get wet. You also got to get you some of these. I'd made the mistake of assuming it wouldn't get all wet, and it did, and it ruined a bunch of paperwork and a bunch of other stuff. So get you some of these. They microwave. I think they're supposed to last forever. If I think about it, I'll put a link in the video for that too, in the description. All right, so more just random. So this is a 2 ounce. What is this one? American Landmarks. Pretty cool. This one of my daughters loves pandas, and so I was at a coin shop, just sort of browsing. They had this, so I was like, well, I got to get me that thing. This is probably what I think maybe the most beautiful coin that exists is the Philharmonic. Just a beautiful coin. It's a little different shape. You can see the, it's pretty similar to the maple leaf as far as you see how much of the padding there is. And then the Eagles are still different. So you get the same piece of plastic, but it's a different ring that goes around it. Pretty cool. Philharmonic's one of my favorite. You got a War nickel, I believe they're called. More barbers. What do we got here? Kookaburras. These are beautiful. Beautiful coins. Another panda. These are all just sort of my random stuff. There's another. Doggone it. I had another 1986 the whole time. I went out and bought one because I thought I was missing it. I'll be darned. This is a Ram, I believe, North American. Yeah, this was some sort of a commemorative thing. Again, I bought from a couple of people off of Craigslist or Marketplace, and some of the stuff you get is just kind of sort of random, which is kind of fun. Just get get whatever you get, and you don't throw a fit. Here's a Libertad. I think this is my only one of those, maybe. Pretty cool coin. More old. These, this just looks so cool to me. 1900. It's 125 years old. These are probably not worth much of anything. They're not silver. So this is my only gold. I think it's 1/10 of an ounce. Pretty cool. It's another commemorative piece. Another one. I think these must have come as a set. Here's a little bar. It's Chinese, I guess Chinese New Year or something. It's 1 ounce. It's not a very big bar, but it's kind of cool to have the snake. Another steel nickel. All right, let's see what else we got, huh? These are just bars. I figure it's, why not? Get a little sheet of bars. What are these, Pan American? Pretty cool, dependable. Nice thing about, rounds and bars is you know exactly what it is. Nobody has to look it up and figure out, oh, what is that? Is it real or whatever? Use the 5 ounce version. You can do this a bit thicker. Pretty cool. Same deal. I didn't bring out everything. Just wanted to show you the different things that I got. I got some duplicates and stuff like that. But it's a 10 ounce. I mean, this is a significant chunk of silver. One of the things I like to have a different variety, especially of sizes, because if the stuff really hits the fan and you just need to buy a couple of gallons of gas, you're not going to want to chuck a kilo of silver at somebody or a 10 ounce bar of silver at somebody. It might be that you end up trading 50-cent pieces. And then some of these they got a Liberty. They make a cool sound. I just like to listen to them. There's some Franklin, so I guess I got a few different ones. These are all presumably a 90%. Let's see, what else do we got here? It's just a roll of quarters. These are all, of course, 90%. If you're looking through a roll, you can always tell because on the silver, the whole side will be the same color. Whereas on a standard, quarter or whatever, you'll be able to tell the difference on the side of the coin. So really quick, easy way to tell. Let's see what we got here. Dimes. These are probably all. No, there's some mercury. So all dimes. Don't know how many that is. Again, it's good to have a variety because when you go to sell them, you're going to get varying different amounts, of course, and you're going to have different values. And then if the stuff hits the fan, which is I think part of the reason everybody buys silver, I think you're going to want to have varying different amounts. Just like right now you have pennies, although they're not making them anymore, nickels, dimes, quarters, dollars, all the way up to $100 bills. This is, in my opinion, silver is sort of the same way. You would want varying different values that you can trade for. The day may come when you say, hey, I'll give you this for some gasoline, some food, whatever the case may be. So if that day comes, God forbid, I pray it doesn't, but you're going to want to have, you could consider them varying denominations. And this tube's a little bit thicker, which is interesting. The maple leaves, I believe, are just ever so slightly thicker. The tube that they come is a little bit different. It's like airtight. It's kind of acting funny. Here's just some more random. Eagles. These are all, it looks like 24. They're just beautiful, beautiful coins. They really, really are. They're some of my favorites. These are just whatever you call these. I believe each one of these is 20. I think that's the difference, actually, now that I think about it. I think a thing of these is 25 and a thing of Eagles is 20, I believe. I could be wrong. It's okay. You can tell me in the comments if you feel like it. These ones are, I believe these are going to be half ounce. These aren't coins. These are just rounds. Yep, I believe these are, it's not definitely not an ounce. So they're probably half ounce. I should have put my glasses on. So pretty cool. Again, just nice to have. Pure silver. I'm not sure how many goes in there. These are, that's not the case that they're designed for, of course. Let's see what we got in here. Buffaloes. These are great. I like these. They're pretty enough, There's nothing wrong with them. They're very highly recognizable. They're, always high quality silver. The .999, which is great. They make the sound you're looking for. I like them a lot. Put this in there so I don't clank around. Let's see, what else do we have? Well, let's just leave that one closed. That's more, looks like it's more buffaloes. Show all that and this stuff. Let's see what we got here. All right, it's a bunch of Mercury dimes. Pretty cool little capsule. These are all extremely old. They're still nifty. I believe that these are going to be steel pennies. Yep. They sound different. They feel different. Everything about them is just different. It's kind of unique. They're not very valuable, but kind of fun to have. Let's see, more Mercuries. Yep. Lots of dimes. When I started, I think a dime was worth about $1, so I haven't done the math to see what they are worth now. I used to go to a website called coinflation.com, and it would tell you what every coin was worth as far as the melt value. Got 50-cent pieces here. Pretty cool. I just reached in and grabbed sort of some random stuff. I honestly didn't even really look at what I was grabbing. So these are cool. I think the concept of this is that you can break them if you needed to. So, probably with a pair of pliers or something. But that you would be able to break these. This is a 1/2 ounce total. So each one of those would be 1/8 of an ounce. And they're, replicas of the Silver Eagles. So those are pretty cool to have. I like it. It's fun to just buy different stuff. And then if when the day comes, if you end up selling it, you have, options as far as what you want to sell, which, keep whatever you like the best, or whatever somebody's willing to offer you the most for. Here's some more Maple Leafs. What we got? A 2005 and a 2000, I think that's a 16. I'm getting a little bit old. Pretty cool. More $50. Some of these are in incredible condition. It's in really good shape. Beautiful coins with those. J&M bullion. Okay. What do we got here? Sunshine mint. Okay. Yeah, these are nice. These are pretty. I'm all for getting, whatever random kind of rounds are out there, especially if it's from a known brand. These are going to be much easier to store and sell when the day comes than some random chunk of metal. I've seen some people that have like a random bar, maybe with some writing on it, and it's like, well, your audience to try to sell that is going to be a lot smaller than it would be if it's something that everybody knows what it is. Man, that's an interesting condition in 1964. Nice coins. All right, well, I think that's long enough. Maybe I'll make another video with some more, but that's, I think, pretty fun to start with. Leave me a comment. Let me know which ones you like the best. You think there's anything I should add? Look, that one's got a little nick in it. These were circulated. It's not quite perfectly round over there. These were, quite literally money. My grandfather, this is 1880. Good grief. I'm not that good at math. Is that 145 years? My grandfather started just keeping silver coins once they stopped making coins out of silver. He was, wise enough, I suppose, to just start hanging on to them. Why not? Just like today, people might throw their change in a jar or whatever just to keep. I don't know anything about this. Roman 250 to 480 bronze. Pretty cool. So, and then again, here's my one piece of gold. Pretty nifty. All right, leave me a comment. Let me know which one you like the best. If you think there's anything I should add, or just give me your thoughts. Thanks.